Ma'am Ali. I'm Rodelyn J. Monero, your student nurse from Level 3, Section 2, and today I will be having a video recitation that talks about the introduction of psychiatric nursing and what are the assessments that needs to be done during this subject. And prior to explain the things that I've learned during the discussion is to blindfold myself first po. Okay, so psychiatric nursing, ang main purpose of this course subject is to promote understanding and also help us to know the reasons behind every behavior. So, kumbaga, kung dati, mabait ako dito sa subject na to, mas magiging mabait ako kasi nga, mas maiintindihan ko kung bakit nangyayari yung gantong bagay, bakit niya nagagawa yung ganitong behavior, parang ganun. So, let me define first what is mental health. So, when we say mental health, it refers to the ability of people, for example, couples, families, friends, and communities to respond adaptively to internal and external stressors. So, what are those? So, I will explain them separately. So, yung internal factors, these are the things that happen within you. Intrapersonal siya. So, ito yung mga ginagawa mo sa sarili mo. Like, for example, negative self-talk or yung pagiging rigid thinking mo on a certain matter or you having an ability to accept uncertainty. Since intrapersonal siya or nangyayari siya within you, therefore, it can only be managed by you yourself. On the contrary, when we say external stressors, these things happen sa environment mo or kung saan ka nakatira or ano yung surroundings mo. Like for example, yung mga schoolworks mo, marami na you don't know how to do it accordingly. And then, pwede rin maging factor yung pagkakaroon ng relationship difficulties. For example, naghiwalay kayo ng jowa mo, tapos ginawa niya yun during your exam. So, those things is pwedeng maging stimuli sa stress na na-experience mo uh, present presently or this present. Then psychiatric nursing plays a vital role in this subject course kasi nga we will be the one or we are one of the sources of motivation to be well. So psychiatric nursing is an interpersonal process that promotes and also maintains behavior that contribute to the integrated functioning. So, specialized area siya ng nursing that employs the theories of human behavior as science and the purposeful use of self as its art. So, ibig sabihin, tayong mga nurses, we should be able to help other people para makapag-build ng solid connection. Dito natin gagamitin yung therapeutic use of self. So, it promote the altruism. Ano si altruism? Which is yung pagiging selfless natin. So, yung concern with other people because it teaches us to be kind or kinder than usual. So, kung dati tingin mo mabait ka nga, sabi ko nga, mas magiging mabait ka during this subject. So, ang ultimate goal ng subject na ito is to help your clients. Kasi if it's not managed according to Freud, it can be diverted into worst case. That's why pag malungkot ka or malungkot yung isang tao, you need to acknowledge and recognize it and learn to speak for yourself. In line with this, we have 8 human response processes. So, una dyan is the activity. So, we need to assess the psychomotor malfunctioning ng isang tao. So, titingnan natin kung may mga gawain yung patient natin na very unusual para sa kanya at kung ilang beses niya yun ginagawa sa isang araw. Next one is yung cognition. So, we need to assess their ability to understand things. So, kailangan natin i-consider yung cognition level ni patient natin kung kaya niya bang intindihin yung gantong bagay, yung ganito, ganyan. So, kailangan natin i-consider yung educational background ng isang tao. Ecological, ito yung mga kailangan nating i-assess yung environment ni patient which affects his or her mentality. And then, yung emotional, so dito natin i-assess yung emotions ni patient on how they feel with the things around her or him. So, we need to tell them na need nilang i-verbalize or express themselves kung ano man yung mga nararamdaman nila during that time. Then interpersonal, so yung ability mo to relate with others and or interact with others. And then perception, though dito mo i-assess kung ano nga ba yung pananaw nila on a certain thing. So we must specify the different level of circumstances. Like for example, tinanong mo yung patient mo kung anong tingin niya sa magandang gawin. I mean, kung anong magandang gawin pag may nararamdamang sakit. So, mas maganda bang magpatingin ng maaga na hindi pa malala or magpapatingin ka lang kung may malubha ka ng sakit. So, dito mo i-assess kung alin dun yung mas prefer niya. And then dun niya na ipapasok kung bakit ganun yung pananaw niya. Then the physiologic factor, which is ito yung papasok yung physiological needs na hindi na meet. And then valuation, dito mo tatanungin yung patient mo kung ano nga ba yung mga binavalue niya as of the moment, what matters them the most, ganon. And then next one is the mental illness or the mental disorder. So in simple words, dito magkakaroon ng mental functioning that is due to social, psychological, or physical, chemical, or biological disturbance. So, yung mga at risk sa mga ganitong disorders are those uh, walang access sa healthcare. And also, sinabi din na pwedeng maging factor yung pagkakaroon ng genetic predisposition or may lahing may ganong disorder. And then, yung mga merong undergoing lifestyle changes. For example, yung mga buntis, yung mga adolescents, and also yung mga victims of violence or yung merong mga traumatic past, and also sa mga elderly poor. Now, let's move on sa assessment of data ng mga patients natin. So, kailangan natin tanongin yung history of present illness, which is tatanungin natin yung onset or kung kailan nagsimula yung ganong pangyayari or yung behavior na present that day. And then, kung gaano katagal nagmamanifest yung ganoong signs and symptoms or kung ano yung duration or nag-change ba siya over time. And then, pwede nating tanungin din kung meron bang stressful events na nangyari this past few days kaya siya naging ganun. And then also, we have the developmental milestone. For example, nagkaroon ka ng traumatic past like negligence, abuse, or relationships with parents na there are signs of being maladaptive. And also, itatanong din natin yung social history ni patient natin kasi dito papasok yung difficulty mo to establish a relationship with other people. Then also, we have the personality, kung meron ba nag-change sa personality mo na napansin ng mga nasa paligid mo. And then, we need to consider also the appearance of the patient, of if he or she dress unusual to others, or yung mga grooming nila or yung mga gestures nila na hindi naman nila normal na ginagawa before. And then next one is yung behavior and um, psychomotor activity. So meron siyang mannerisms or agitations or inability to sit still. Autism, ito yung repeated purposeless behaviors, which is indicative na meron siyang anxiety. So for example, best example natin dyan is yung pacing, yung pabalik-balik yung paglakad, which is a sign of anxiety. Yung psychomotor retardation, yun yung mabagal na paggalaw ng isang tao. Then yung waxy flexibility, parang nakasteady ka lang sa isang place, or yun, nakasteady ka lang sa isang place for a long period of time. And then yung echopraxia, ito yung paggagaya ng movements ng isang tao. So, echolalia, parroting, ginagaya mo yung speech o yung mga sinasabi ng kausap mo. Loosening of association, ito yung pag-shift ng ideas from one idea to another idea na walang logical connections. And then, yung neologism, ito naman yung create ng sarili mong wordings. na hindi maintindihan ng iba. Mutism, ito naman yung functional inhibition ng speech and vocalization. So, word salad, ito yung mga pinaghalo-halong mga words na hindi mo maintindihan or irrelevant sa isa't isa. Circumstantiality, ito yung pinapaikot-ikot ka, pero meron siyang substance or meron siyang sense at the end of the conversation. However, pag tangentiality, ito yung paikot-ikot ka, pero wala talaga siyang sense at the end of the conversation. Thought blocking, ito yung bigla-bigla ka na lang naglalag. So, hindi mo alam kung paano i-process yung mga nasa isip mo. Kaya, minsan nakatulala ka na lang or you remain silent. Perseveration, ito yung kakasabi lang ng kausap mo tapos inuulit mo na naman. Like for example, nag-announce si prof natin na ganito, ganyan, tapos inulit mo na naman. And then, flight of ideas is ito yung kabaliktaran ng loosening of association. Ito yung topic shifting pero may logical connections. Verbigeration, ito yung paggawa ni patient ng mga words or mga sounds na hindi mo ma-perceive or hindi mo perceive ng receiver since hindi mo nga maintindihan. Yung pressured speech naman, ito yung mga pagsasalita na para kang nagra-rap or wala talagang pause. And then, clang associations, yung mga words na sinasabi mo at ginagamit mo ay ina-associate mo siya sa sounds or a rhyming. And then, stilted language, gumagamit ka ng mga flowery words or mga jargon words na hindi na naiintindihan ng kausap mo. And then, yung kabaliktaran niya is the poverty naman, which is hindi siya nakakagamit ng mga words or limited lang yung vocabulary niya. Tapos, next is pag-uusapan natin yung pinagkaiba ng mood tsaka affect. When we say mood, ito yung mga internal emotional state na na-experience ng isang patient. Whereas, pag-affect naman, ito yung internal or outward expression ni patient sa internal emotion niya. So, we have different types of affect. So, yung level affect, ito yung bigla-bigla ka na lang bigla-bigla na lang nag-iiba yung expression mo or your emotional state. And then, elation, ito yung sobrang happy ka or extreme happiness. And then, anhedonia, ito yung hindi ka makapag-express ng joy mo or pleasure mo. And then, yung ambivalence, ito yung parang mixed emotion. So, kunwari ako is pumasa sa isang exam, tapos yung friend mo is hindi nakapasa. So, hindi mo alam kung magiging masaya ka ba for yourself or malulungkot ka for your friend. And then yung restricted affect naman is from the word itself. So, syempre, limited yung expression na pinapakita mo. And then yung inappropriate affect naman, ito yung taliwas, yung pinapakita mong emotion sa nararamdaman mo or yung mood mo. And then, sa perceptions naman, meron tayong hallucination and the illusion. So, ang pinagkaiba nila, yung hallucinations, wala ka talagang basis or wala kang stimuli para makapag-trigger na meron kang nakikita or may naririnig ka ba. Tapos yung illusion naman, meron kang basis or meron kang external stimuli which will tend you to misinterpret something. So, kumbaga, kapag hallucination, kunwari ako nandito, tapos sasabihin ko may nakikita akong babae na hindi naman nakikita ng iba. Tapos wala kang nakikita talaga. As in, wala talaga. Kahit na so ibig sabihin nun hallucination. However, kapag sinabi nating illusion, kunwari may nakita akong white na cloth doon sa parteng dito, tapos sasabihin ko, may nakita akong nakaputing babae. Yun, parang illusion yun. Kasi nga, meron kang nakitang external stimuli, which is yung white na cloth, tapos na-perceive mo siya as white lady. So, ganun yun. And then, yung gustatory, ito yung parang may nalalasahan kang something na unusual. And yung olfactory, may naaamoy ka na hindi mo alam kung saan nanggaling. Olfactory hallucinations, yung tactile feeling mo may mga gumagapan sa katawan mo or tinatawag din siyang formication. And then the kinesthetic, ito yung mga out-body experience mo na kunwari, feeling mo nalutang ka. And then, yung sa illusion naman, we have the deja vu and the jamais vu. So, yung deja vu, ito yung mga nangyari na pero feeling mo, hindi pa nangyari. And then, the jamais vu naman, ito yung mga nangyari na pero hindi siya familiar sa'yo. Now, delusions naman are the fixed false beliefs na pinaniniwalaan mong tama or pinapaniwalaan ni patient. Now, una dyan is the delusions of persecution. So, feeling ni patient is lagi siyang tinatanong or hinahabol siya ng isang tao, which is hindi naman. And then, yung delusions of reference, feeling mo, pinag-uusapan ka lahat ng tao or may nasasabi lahat sa'yo. And then yung delusions of influence, feeling nila kinokontrol sila ng iba. And then yung thoughts of broadcasting, ito yung mga naiisip mo na feeling mo mangyayari in the near future, eventually. And then yung grandiose delusions is ito yung feeling of superiority. So, feeling mo mas malakas ka sa akin, mas magaling ka sa akin, gano'n. Or feeling mo ikaw na yung Diyos, ganyan. And then yung obsessions, dito papasok yung mga intrusive thoughts or impulsive thoughts mo, which is persistent siya sa'yo. At kapag you put it into action, it will become compulsion. And then we have the magical thinking. Dito ka na mag imagine na you have some supernatural powers. Like for example, ako, feeling ko meron akong powers na makapag teleport, ganun. So, parang ganun lang. And then, that's it for the video recitation number 1. Thank you po.